I was having a chai on the tapri in the morning. You might be wondering why Nilesh is talking about chai on the tapri, right, in the morning when we are talking about critical infrastructure. But a quick realization, once it goes to the payment, I scanned the QR code and the payment went off. So what happened there is a chai wala was actually using an encryption. A 10 rupee chai wala was actually using the encryption, and that is the criticality today, right? That each and every individual, second question that I always ask, where is your bank? Where is your bank today? All of us. Absolutely. It is in your pocket, right? And in everybody's pocket, there is a cryptography that is happening. There is a cyber security that is happening, okay? And that is a gamut of scale, phenomenal achievement by basically our digital public infrastructure. Now let us talk about the threats and how we can continue to be safe, right, into this infrastructure part of it. Okay, sorry. I think I skipped a few slides ahead. So with that context, we will be talking a little bit on the cryptography part of it today. We will be talking about a little bit on the post-quantum cryptography and the quantum threats as well today. All of us are aware of the quantum threats, the quantum computing that is there. How many are aware? Okay, fantastic. Okay. So for securing the infrastructure or any digital public infrastructure or even a small MSME, you'd realize that cryptography is the key. Okay. Now, why do I say that? Let us understand. Let's do just a 1 minute on why the cryptography is critical there. Okay. So if you look at any digital service today, any kind of a digital service, these are the 6 things that you need to ensure. Do you agree with me? The first is an identity. However, when we think about an identity, we always think of the identity in the context of a human. Is it enough? When you are transacting with your bank, you need to ensure that the bank's app, the SDKs that are involved, the APIs that are involved, the server that is there, everything there is an identity, the device is part of it that is there, right? So unless and until all of this kind of comes together, okay, you won't be able to build a secure ecosystem. Subsequent to that, the authentication part. Subsequent to that, the data part, right? How do you maintain the confidentiality of both data at rest as well as data in motion, right? Subsequent to that, transaction security. And subsequent to that, privacy. Okay, now privacy is little, I would say, is under the way that we think about a privacy, we think about a privacy in the context of a PII data only, right? Personal identifiable information, but privacy is much more than that. Okay, if you put the privacy in the context saying when 2 parties are having a transaction or an interaction, unless and until those 2 parties agree, that transaction should not be shared with any other party. See what has happened with the WhatsApp leak. Why it has happened? Because without a consent, the WhatsApp messages were leaked. Okay, the Pegasus instance and all of that. So this looks like a very complex thing. So if you ask any of the industry leaders that are present today, saying, how do we ensure all of these things, 6 things today? How do we ensure that? There are more than 35 to 40 different security solutions that we implement in our organization to ensure all these 6 things that is there. Okay? So it looks like a little complex thing. But if you go back to the basics and we think about the basic tenets of security to secure any of the interaction, this is what it basically leads down to. Okay? Identity, authentication, confidentiality, non-repudiation, and privacy. Do you think that if we are able to achieve these 6 things in every conversation, whether it is a device to device, machine to machine, human to machine, any of that, we will be safe. Okay? So cryptography does ensure all, right? Okay? But now there is a basic difference. See, we spoke about the last speaker, phenomenal speech, right? We spoke about threat intelligence, very required portion of it. But there is a marked difference between the cyber security and the cryptographic security. While the cyber security talks about reactive perimeter defense tools, cyber security basically, or cryptography basically talks about deterministic, right? And the foundational aspects of it. Okay. So, natural question, what am I speaking about here? Isn't everybody using it already? We are using it, right? SSL, we are all using SSL, we are all using encryptions, we are all using basically the hashing functions and all of that. So what is new? What is the threat that is there? So this is the problem today, okay? For achieving these 6 tenets of cybersecurity, we need to make sure that all of this, okay, needs to be there into the place. Even if you take one simple example of an identity, there are at least 4 to 5 different solutions that we basically need to implement as on day to day, right? Authentication, same thing. How many of you, a question to the audience, what is the strongest form of an authentication that exists in the world today? MFA. What is strong in the MFA? Let's say strongest factor in MFA. Multi-factor authentication obviously is strong. There are multiple types of multiple-factor authentication, right? People typically come to me with these answers to your right, sir. MFA is there. In the MFA, you can also have what you have, the face, the biometric. Do you guys think biometric is the strongest one? All of us? Yes? Perfect. Yeah, so several. You have iris, you have voice scan. Perfect. Codes and all of that. Okay, sorry to disappoint you. Biometric is actually not a strong factor. Yeah, facial is also biometric. Fingerprint is also biometric, right? Voice is also biometric. There are multiple types of handprint. Handprint, everybody's handprint is also biometric, right? It is not. Why? See, biometric match is based on AI. That means it is probabilistic match. It is always a probabilistic. So when you go and talk to UADI, they will say 99.7%. Why not 100%? Because of the physics that is involved, it is always a probabilistic match. So you need to think about a strong authentication mechanism. What is the most strongest form of authentication? Is mutual TLS. Digital, him having a certificate and me having a certificate, and we are authenticating with 100% certainty and confidentiality, right? And the list actually goes on. I'm just not taking many examples right now because of the paucity time. We can always discuss this. So this kind of creates our challenges, okay? Every organization will have this challenge. Key management, who holds the key, right? The skill set, right? The change management, and the list goes on. And let me scare you a bit now, okay? I'm pretty sure that you are all familiar with this, but this is what it is. Quantum will be an existential threat to our cybersecurity. The morning speakers talks about sovereignty. China had done $15 billion worth of an investment in the quantum park. The entire world's investment is $36 billion. Out of that, $15 billion is just China. Why is that? Of course, quantum is going to do great things, and they are doing great things, but it is also going to do a bad thing as well, okay? So literally, people, the guy who possesses the quantum will have a master key to open every bank vault, okay? Every digital data center in the world if we don't migrate, okay? So now these are the problems. So what we have established right now is the problem. Now I will be jumping into the solution, how we can protect that, and of course it is my job as a CEO of my company to represent my company, so I will be talking about a solution now, okay? So we obviously need a new way of thinking, okay? That's where let's think, what if there is a solution that needs no key management, can address all the entities that are there, API, application devices, humans or enterprises as well, performs all the cryptographic functions, you don't need separate solutions for that, while being quantum safe, okay? That's where the PyControl platform comes into the picture. This is our core innovation. The PyControl platform is based on quantum safe, patented cryptography used by Indian defense right now as we are speaking, and several banks. Gives a cryptographic identity to everything and everybody. It is composable by nature, so you may say that I need an authentication and confidentiality, that's about it, and we can basically talk about the next, okay, and already battle tested. Okay, so Fortytwo Labs basically we started as a defense startup back in 2016. The first job we delivered for the Indian defense, for which we have received an accolades as well. Trusted by banks, defense, and enterprises, having 25 million users across geographies, India, Hong Kong, Singapore, UK, and Canada as well, right, across multiple of digital services and have multitudes of different offerings. Okay. Now, from the offerings part of it, here are the offerings that PyControl offers. 360-degree view, right from the identity to authentication to transaction security to data security to API security and zero trust for your employees in the provable 100% way. That is what we see basically we bring to the table, right? Just to give you a glimpse, I have kind of segregated the offerings into three parts. The first part is the identity and the access stack, which basically talk about quantum safe MFA, quantum safe passwordless authentication, adaptive authentication, right? VPN-less access. Okay, so this is basically our access stack part of it. We also form an identity fabric without needing any certificates into your infrastructure to construct a holistic digital ecosystem, secure digital ecosystem. This is our quantum safe embedded security stack, whether you want to embed. One of the important thing here is, see, security. When we think about cyber security, it is always a bolt-on, right? We think about a perimeter. However, I always give this example. When you think about a human immune system, right? We are immune from inside. We take medicine to be immune. So cryptography, when it is embedded within the application, that is where we are basically gunning. For the APIs, for the mobile apps, for the applications, for the devices, the cryptography has to be embedded so that two entities can basically communicate with each other with 100% certainty. And this is the last, the quantum safe data and messaging stack that is there. Data at rest, data at motion, whether we want to do a physical data transfer, we have a solution for that already deployed in defense. It can work in air-gapped network as well. The demos are available outside. We have a quantum safe video conferencing as well as a mobile messaging. Proud to tell you, PyControl is the only platform in the world. There are 8 to 9 companies who works into post-quantum cryptography domain in the world today. PyControl is the only platform which takes care of all the security tenets: identity, authentication, confidentiality, non-repudiation, and privacy as well. Thank you so much.